everybody. We are in my office again for this podcast episode, which is a really, really tiny one, kind of like a news broadcast update, frankly. Um, but I haven't done an episode in my office in the longest time. So for those of you watching the video version on YouTube, enjoy the gallery wall. I was just doing a podcast interview right before this in here. So I was just like, I'm just going to stay in here. Okay, so the intention for today's podcast episode is literally just to give you guys a update on what is coming up for the rest of the year. I love to just know in advance what I get to look forward to and what also to start looking into so that we're all busy. So I'm not scrambling at the last minute of like, do I want to do this or whatnot. So I'm going to walk you guys through what's coming up on the calendar, what you guys get to look forward to make sure that nobody misses out on anything. So the most important thing, firstly, which I'm sure you're all aware of, if not, you need to be on my emails because I've been sending out incredible tips as usual. For those of you that don't know, obviously, yes, I will share what we're launching at the time through emails, but my emails, if you haven't read them, you need to start doing so, are 97% just like intense content for you guys. So my emails are incredible. And this is a really important thing for you to start listening to, because if you didn't listen to my kind of life update episode much earlier on in the year, I am slowly going to be just doing a little bit less on Instagram stories, which I'm going to get into in a second. So hang tight on kind of the reasons why things are shifting a little bit behind the scenes of the business. But emails are the place to be, and the blog, emails and the blog. We're bringing back blogs, people. We really are. I mean, they never went anywhere. We all just got so addicted to the dopamine hits of quick social media content. But I'm about helping to regulate your nervous system. So I'm also going to help regulate your nervous system with my content. Okay, so Queen Alchemy closes August 30th. So really soon, depending on when you're listening to this, it could be literally tomorrow. It could be the day that you're listening to this. So August 30th, it closes for the last time this year. So please make sure that you do not miss out, because you will be sorry, obviously, if you do. If you haven't taken the time to look at the testimonials and the screenshots and everything on the website page, as well as in the Instagram highlights, then you definitely should, because that gives you a really good indicator of what you can expect for your own transformation through this incredible, incredible program. The next thing is the Man is coming back, which I'm very excited about. So I've completely revamped the Man, and now it is a combination of evergreen and one-on-one support. Now there are two options when you join the Man. You can join the Man at the lower level investment option, which will just mean that you get the course and you can do it in your own time. It's all pre-recorded. The other option, and there's healing in there as well. The other option is that you get the evergreen component, but you also get two one-on-ones. So you have the healing components from the recorded content that I've done, but you'll also get the extra one-on-one customized bespoke healing and trauma release work with me in two one-on-one sessions. So that's the Man. Very excited for that. If you have not got your Man on the wait list already so that he can receive the email of when it opens, that I would give him a little nudge. It's not going to hurt for him to at least read about it. That is going to be opening early September, which I'm very excited about as well. The next thing is the LA event. So the LA event is happening on October 21st. Tickets close on October 6th. So it's really important that you book your ticket if you haven't already, so then you can book flights, hotel, all the things that you need to book if you don't already live there. Now, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. This is the only time I am doing this event. This event is different to my immersion. It is a pop-up. It's like the live version of my program, Her, essentially. It's a little bit of everything. It's a super great boost. At this time of the year, towards the end of October, people are getting really stressed, not only just from personal things and the holidays coming up, but also just like, oh my God, I'm running out of time and I haven't gotten everything done that I wanted to get this year. And like, I'm trying to manifest everything. And we all start scrambling and cramming everything in and kind of freaking our nervous systems out, which isn't helpful for what you're wanting to manifest. So October is going to be incredible for those of you that are serious about making 2023 your year. If you want to finish being able to look back and being so proud of yourself, then you need to be at this event. You're going to meet amazing people. We're going to have an amazing time. It's a one-day event. It's really not a big time or money commitment in the whole grand scheme of things. Fly in if you don't live there, make a weekend of it for yourself. You're going to meet some great girlfriends, friends. It's going to be a vibe. And if you want to do the VIP day with me and my team, then that's happening on the Sunday. So for those of you that run a business, you're a woman running a business, the VIP day is going to be incredible for you finishing this year really strong, and even better, starting next year out on the right foot. It's very hands-on. You're getting a lot of one-on-one time. It's very intimate and small, so it's going to be incredible for those of you that are doing that. There's only 2 spaces left. Well, there could be less because I'm recording this in advance. Right now, it's only 2 spaces left. Okay, the next thing that's very exciting is we have our immersion locked and loaded for next year, and I'm running 2 immersions next year, which I have not done before, so I am very pumped about it. So it's the same immersion, same format, of course, like same everything. All the details about it are in the emails that you guys will get, as well as on the website page. So the most important thing to understand is that all that's different is the location. You basically get to choose your location, either New York City or Europe. At the time of this recording, we are looking between Italy, south of France, and Paris, if I'm correct from my team. It's going to be one of those options. So it's going to be in a beautiful location in Europe. So for those Europeans that can't make the trip to New York, I get it. Guess what? I'm making the trip to you. Yay! I'm so excited. So the details for that, the cost for both of those options, and what the difference is between them, what's included in, the New York version versus the Europe version and vice versa, is all on the website page. Right now, when you get this recording, the website page will not be fully up to date. So please keep that in mind. Sorry, when you get this podcast, at the time of like when this is released. But if you're listening to this, a week later from when it was released or 2 weeks later, it'll be updated. So hang tight if you are, a keen bean. I love that. Thank you for being a keen bean. I fucking mean it. But just hang tight because it will be updated shortly. So that's what's coming up for that. Okay. Now, the most exciting thing out of everything, because it's new, it's fresh, and it's been fucking in the making for 5 years. Like, finally, I'm giving birth to my book. So the book is happening. It is underway. A lot of investments are going into it in terms of me investing in it. It is oh wow, it's getting me outside my comfort zone. It has been putting me through a journey of being in the gap. I am like in the middle. I am transitioning. There's been a lot. Like it's been the biggest stretch in terms of like mentally, emotionally, like I've ever incurred, and it's not even really started, which is the crazy thing. But just the conversations that are happening between people that we're hiring and between me and the people, and just like there's a lot. And what's been really beautiful for me and what I'm continuing to stand in is the integrity of how important our wedding is to me, and also and to my fiance. But I've dreamed about this wedding for my whole life, as so many girls do. And I'm so excited for our wedding, and not just for the wedding itself, but for that whole period of time. I'm taking about 7 weeks off, maybe 8 weeks off. I think actually maybe it was 8 weeks, but I'm taking a month off before the wedding. Now, granted, that's probably going to go down to 2 weeks, but I won't be having clients for the month before the wedding. I might be finishing admin up, like, for the first week or so that I'm quote unquote off, but I will be having a minimum of 2 weeks off before the wedding, like full hardcore, out of Slack, like logged out of emails, can't get into anything, etc., so that I am like fully zen and just beaming and glowing and restored, and getting to be so present and soak in every moment of our wedding. And then we're having our honeymoon straight after as well, because as my team said, whilst your brain is off work, we need to utilize it, go on the honeymoon, because if you come back and then try and go again, it's going to be a whole other thing, which is completely true. So the book is coming in, and it's just been this like, it's been great to just stand in the integrity piece of, I know that you would want me to be active and doing like all the PR things and blah, blah, blah during that time, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And that just, in my opinion, shows even more how I'm embodied in the message that I'm sharing with you guys of prioritizing what's important to us and being in our feminine and doing all the things that you guys know about. So I'm wanting the book to come out in March. There isn't an official date, but I am pushing for March is what I want. Also, it's winter, and you guys know that like winter is a vibe, and I would love some like sexy winter book party situations of like cozy atmospheres, velvet chairs. Like we're all about that here. So on the horizon, the book is coming. You guys will obviously know when that is about to come, when that's coming out, when you can pre-order it and all the good things with it. I will be having book parties, and I'm assuming it's going to be like allowed that you guys can purchase a ticket for the night. So make sure that you keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. In the ideal plan, but like this is not fully up to me. I'm going to obviously have recommendations based on the professionals who've done this a million times before. Is I would like to be having a book party in Sydney in Australia we are coming to Sydney for my best friend's wedding. So we will be having a Sydney book party. And then I want to have one in New York, probably also one in LA. But if I had to choose, if we just choose one, it'll be New York. Because also, like, I'm still doing my job. I'm not like all of a sudden just stopping all my programs and becoming an author. So if we have to choose because of time management and everything, it'll be New York. And then ideally, I also want to have one in Paris or London in Europe. So that's going to kind of be the plan for the book parties. So you guys can just keep that in the back of your mind, which is super exciting. And because of all of these things happening, this is a really important piece of this podcast, besides obviously like the dates and everything. Because of all of this happening and these transitions in my life that I am so excited for, I have been showing up consistently. And if you followed me for a long time, you're like, yeah, you have. I have been showing up consistently on my Instagram, on my podcast, on all the fucking platforms since 2018. I don't think I've even taken a week off Instagram stories at all. The one time that I actually took time off my Instagram story, I actually don't think I did. No, I didn't. I was going to say the weekend we got engaged, but I actually didn't. I don't think I did. I think I took time off work or something because I thought we were going to have no reception because I thought we were like in some cool place, like some cool little like hut, but then actually found out that for the engagement, which I didn't know was happening, obviously, that he booked the Amman. So we were definitely not in a fucking hut. We were in the opposite. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is I'm going into this beautiful phase and I'm kind of like already in the beginning stages of it, like I was saying before, of I have to pick and choose where I am putting my energy and where I'm putting my time. And here's the thing for any business owners, because I don't want you to then, if you're like 1 year into your business, don't do what I'm doing right now because it's not going to work for you. Like you can't compare me to where you are. And I'll talk about this eventually and like the nitty gritty of it in the Feminine CEO, I'm sure. But I'm at this phase now where I've realized I've spent the last 5-6 years giving you guys so much proof and value and content. Like, if you don't have that know, like, and trust factor, so if you don't trust me and know that I'm good at my job from my podcast, from my emails, from my blog, from the thousands of Instagram posts I've already done, if you're like, still don't trust that she knows what she's doing, then that's okay. But like, I'm not going to keep going. And this doesn't mean that I'm not going to go on Instagram stories or anything anymore, but I've just basically realized that I'm at this beautiful place in my business where I actually get to take a little bit of a step back and it not affect anything. I get to not have to post so much on my Instagram stories. I now get to do a little bit less of the output and still receive the same amount of clients and transformations and all the things. And I get to do this because there is a astronomical amount of free content that can help you to realize I know what I'm doing, I can help you, and I'm really good at my job. And so what that means, and I will say that, and the point of this, the point of why I'm saying this is because with adding this giant load of the book onto my plate, it means that I cannot have a intense output through social media anymore. And it's because I want to pick and choose. I don't believe that you have to pick and choose because you can do it all. Like I could do Instagram if I really wanted to, as in I could, be posting like 100 stories a day still if I really wanted to. But I actually don't really want to anymore. I don't want to I don't want to keep giving and giving and giving the free content and the free value and showing you that I'm knowing what I'm doing all the time, because it's like, that, like, if you haven't listened to all my podcast episodes, the 300 and something that there are, then do it. Like that's going to get you the same as if you're in terms of that's going to get you the same know, like, and trust as if you're watching all my Instagram stories. So I'm really wanting to use my Instagram stories more for, yes, still the quick nuggets and everything, and sharing when we're having our launches and like doing all those kind of things. But I'm also allowing myself to be in this phase of life where I'm like, wow, I can actually take a little bit of a step back and actually have a little bit more privacy again. And I can do that because I've built such a strong foundation of a business that has so much authenticity and so much knowledge and so much education. And I've shown so much of my knowledge through all my other platforms. This is why it's really important that if you're running a business, you don't just run it solely through Instagram and Instagram stories, because if I only gave you guys the know, like, and trust factor through my Instagram stories, I would have to keep doing that. I wouldn't be able to be like, actually, I can take a step back because I've got 300 and something episodes on my podcast. I don't even want to, that's probably at least I would say there's at least 250, if not 300 hours of free content that you could absorb to know that I'm good. And like, I'm still going to be on stories because I love Instagram stories, but I just want to let you guys know so that you can also start to change your behavior of going on my blog, of listening to the episodes, of reading my emails, of making sure that you're checking my Instagram posts because I can schedule them in advance. And also maybe thinking to yourself, if you then want more from me, it's time to invest, right? It's time to get more from me and more from yourself in a paid capacity, because free is only going to get you so far. And I'm going to be really slowly weaning out of showing so much of my personal life and bits and being so on Instagram stories. It's going to be a really, really slow wean for myself because I truly, genuinely love showing up for you guys. And also, so it's not like a jolt for you guys. But I want you to know well in advance so that you can start to change your behavior of getting my content from elsewhere, of not just relying on it through Instagram, but also remembering that I have a YouTube and I actually did make a like day in the life video that I am putting together. So hopefully you guys will have that in the next week or so. I got to obviously edit it and put it together, but I am doing these other avenues. I'm just focusing more on long form content because it is a better use of my time, and my time is precious these days. And like I shared with you guys at the beginning of the year, I'm also doing this to get ready for motherhood. We're not planning on having a child until after our wedding. That's what we want. But I also have run a business long enough to know that it takes time to integrate these things into myself, into my team, and into you guys. So, in saying all of this, for those of you that have listened this far into the episode, in saying all of this, I would appreciate so much for you to be sharing my long form content, to be engaging in my long form content, to be going to the blog more, to be telling me that you are reading the blog, that you are watching the YouTube videos, subscribing to the YouTube podcast, engaging in my Instagram posts and reels and whatnot, because I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to be a little bit more choosy of what I'm giving. And I'm going to make sure that I'm giving really high quality and not just quantity. So you guys have that to look forward to. You have so many things to look forward to with the book coming out, with the wedding, and then with babies and all these amazing things. And I'm also really open to hearing what you guys would like. If you have any ideas, if you're loving any of my long form content, I would really appreciate to hear, because I want to obviously do this. I'm doing this, yes, for me, but I also need to do it in a way that works for you guys. So if there is a way that would work really well for you, I would really appreciate hearing that as well, because I'm going to use that, whether I actually do what you're saying or whether I use pieces of it or whether it just becomes like a great thinking point to then slightly adjust the way in which we're executing things. I would really appreciate that. So I'm going to leave this episode here. The last thing that I'm going to say is that Queen Alchemy 13, crazy, is starting earlier next year than usual. For those of you that have been around for a long time, usually I would start promoting Queen Alchemy in February and starting in March, but because of the wedding, we have to push everything earlier. So that means that for those of you that want to join round 13 of Queen Alchemy, if you don't join this round, for example, firstly, extended payment plans will be starting towards the end of October. So make sure that you're on the wait list so that you get notified. The earlier that you join the next round, and this goes for the future as well, the earlier that you join any program, the earlier that you join one-on-one with me, the longer your payment plan can be for obvious reasons. And for those of you that don't need an extended payment plan, but you do want to join, you can book your space early if you want to. Or the other option is to join in December or January when I start promoting it. So these are the main things to look forward to. We have other little bits. The New Year's Eve bundle will be coming back and all that kind of stuff for you guys to look forward to. So just make sure that you are watching my Instagram, like my Instagram posts, and of course, still my stories and emails and blog and the podcast. All right. Okay. I hope that you guys have a lovely rest of your day and that you enjoyed this little like news broadcast update. And I will see you next week for next week's podcast episode.